Hello everyone and welcome to your English 1060 online overview for the evening of March 30th, 3:30. Going to be going over this and just touching base again as a reminder of the component pieces here. You have already watched this one here on the overview, just to make sure the introduction is covered. Now this piece is going to be the first video that's down here actually listed for 3:30. Again, you can ignore what it says on there. I just posted those in so you guys can see the videos and the place where they go. The download of the official article, I provided everybody with hard copies of those. If you do not have one because you were absent that day, you're going to download Men in Displacement, Men and Boys in Displacement, and go through the assigned reading that's on there. The main thing here is to read and annotate 4 through 13. If you're doing this with the digital copy only, so you're writing your annotations in a notebook, remember to count paragraphs. So when you're reading through, read the pages themselves, put what page and what paragraph that you're putting your annotation on. You will have page numbers in that article typically. Even if there are not, you can still just include the paragraph, just count them from start to finish as you go, and mark your annotations. Don't forget to write a symbol in there in the notebook and your commentary. The pre-writing portion, remember that for the evening of Thursday, 3:30, you're doing the first portion on there where you're going to be downloading and completing body paragraph 1 requirements. Complete the article readings and annotations above and complete body paragraph 1 requirements. Essay 2 will be the only homework. I did not add a quiz for this portion. We will review and return to and review quizzing next week on Thursday. But so for the Dropbox on here, remember that you are opening this Dropbox. You are reading through the content for this content, reading through the content here for this download that's provided. Read all the instructions. We are doing the reasons that people become refugees and the things that happen to them as a result. We are going to make sure that we understand that we're doing this pre-writing portion first. This is all third-person objective. No use of I, we, you, or your. Try to avoid all the contractions from the starting point. We need to make sure that we are doing this with the correct content from the word go, as opposed to having to go back and edit these things. So just like prior, we're doing this where we are writing in full sentences. You have Essay 2, Common Essay pre-writing. There's the template. Keep the pre-writing worksheet on your device. These are some things we've been over a number of times, just to make sure that if you're doing this, you're not doing it by hand. You're typing in the content in the fields, and then you're putting it into the Dropbox. For the 30th, you need to complete part 1 and do that first reading and annotation on the template itself for part 1. Remember to go through these directions as well. The prompt for the paper asks students to consider their readings for the semester and explain the reasons people become refugees and what happens to those people once they are refugees. So what things happen to them as a result of being a refugee, not just being out in territories where they're at, but because they're refugees, right? There are some other there are things that can overlap there, obviously, but try and stick with the things we've learned in the content of our reading the book and now the article we're reading. In the box provided below for the first body paragraph here, give a topic sentence in the space provided. Remember that the topic is reasons people become refugees, so what would your topic sentence be to make that claim so that you could talk about all the different reasons? Second, you're going to write 8 sentences giving 8 different reasons people can become refugees. Use transitional elements at the start of each one. The first 2 are started for you. So again, you're doing your topic sentence, and then you're giving one reason people become refugees is this, another reason is that, and just make sure that you're going through your notes and actually locating, whether it's through your annotation in the book, the reading journals themselves, or some combination of the two. Try and locate the actual examples you'll be referring to from your book and now the article reading. Pay very close attention to these topics and think about them now while you're annotating these works, while you're finalizing those in the book. And for some of you have to go back on your annotations to complete them. Make sure that you do that. Make sure you go over these and make sure that you're touching base on that throughout. Now your focal point is thinking of the reasons people become refugees and what happens to them as a result. Right? Think about that while reading the article. When the article says, gives you the different circumstances that lead to the people being refugees or resulting in refugee status. Make sure that you make note of those things. But in any event, you're listing out 8 full sentences here. Done in full sentence context like this, you'll be able to transfer them right into parts of the next stage where we go into the 2 phases of outlining. Now remember, this doesn't need to be submitted the first evening. This first piece here just gets completed, and then when you are done with that in the first up through page 13 on the article, you are finished with this day's coursework on there. The only other outstanding things that there be for anybody in this class, we will be returning to Lost Boys the day that we come back, so no one needs to touch base on that. But if you were behind on the reading journals and the annotations, which we still did have some students in those categories, make sure that you go through, finish those up so that they're ready, because those will be the submissions that are included the next week, the weekend after April 6th there. I think it's the 9th or the 10th. We'll be submitting more of those things there. We have one of the drop boxes open at the top. But remember, in addition to those guys, remember to go through, if you are one of the students who's up to speed, make sure that you go through and look at those your reading journals and your annotations and see which comments and notations that you have already. See which of those already refer to some of these same categories. Reasons people became refugees. I'm certain that most of you marked things at the beginning stages of your book while reading and annotating. I'm sure that most of you had parts in there, if you go over your reading journals and your annotations, that you have stuff where Clementine Maria is talking exactly about situational things that led to her becoming a refugee with her sister and other people around there, right? I know that for the next portion on the 4th, that we'll have plenty to go to from all the readings for things that happen to them, right? Okay, so just remember, folks, that if you have any questions, send me a message here in D2L Instant Messaging. I'll do my best to answer them regularly. I'm not going to be in constant contact right now, though. I will make sure I check them every couple of days right now. But I am going to try and take a little bit of a breather away from some of this and try and get a little bit of a reset too. Okay. Hopefully this is you find this to be a light week and weekend, these assignments. And I hope that everybody gets enough content there for the first paragraph to be effectively transferable into the outline. Just make sure you're writing in full sentences and try and see if you can think of specific examples there that you can actually locate from your readings. All right. Take care, guys. Look forward to seeing the work, and watch for the next posting of the video. I'm going to post both of these at the same time, actually, so you won't even have to wait for them to be posted. There'll be the 2 videos, so you can go through the content. I'll have them scheduled for those days, but you can watch them both, in one day, or do the work one day and or watch the videos one day and do the work the next, whatever you want. And again, if you guys got messages or questions, just send them right up here. All right, take care, everyone. I'll see you next week.